You can't tell, but I'm smiling. So we decided to have a day out, now that the room is finished, and we wanted a little break. And we came to a beautiful place called Bagnoles, which is about 45 minutes away from us. It's got a beautiful lake, and look at the stunning architecture that the city offers. So it's very popular with the Parisians and many tourists anyways, because it has huge outdoor antiques fair in a park that they do. And also this Bagnole here naturally has naturally occurring thermal spring waters coming out here. So it's a really cool place. And we have fond memories, particularly about the antiques fair here, because this is the first place we got our chateau postcards from. Now normally this Bagnoles city is so busy, full of tourists, but because of the situation, there's no one about. So this is the best way actually for all of you to see what it's truly like and take the beauty of it in. I've just read that this hotel has 200 rooms in it. That's huge, enormous. Imagine maintaining that.
Hey everyone, the sun's out, so as you can tell by my general attire, no, do you know what, I always wear this, I'm just always working. As you can see from my general attire, I'm out and about doing stuff outside because unfortunately spring seems to be springing quite quickly. So while we're waiting for the sealant to dry in our old kitchen on the floor so we can get back to it, it's particularly boring to just watch us putting some sealant on the floor and doing half of it, waiting for it to dry, doing the other half so we can get to the interesting bit about putting the room back together. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and hopefully your hive mind and the world of YouTube out there with your great ideas and your shared experiences and wisdom far greater than mine will be able to help about a project that we need to start planning now while we're doing our other room inside. So I'm going to show you that, and hopefully you guys can give me some great tips before we start this, so we make it as good as possibly can. It really is a lovely spring day, and the section we really want some help with is kind of starts here. Ignore the trailer park. So what we're going to do, we need to really deal with our kitchen garden, and it starts here. So this tree we need to cut back a little bit to open up this view. And obviously the trailers won't be there. Angelina cleared this of ivy and brambles last year, so I want to put a handrail on this and possibly some sort of lights, because we need to make this look prettier for us, and this needs to be accessible and safe in the dark, in the wet, hence the handrail and the lights, because it's time to sort out our kitchen garden once and for all. Last year we finally managed it to try things out, but of course we're not gardeners, so we're starting. I've run a mower over all of this lot, and this is a beautiful big expanse. Obviously need to clear the debris and this old concrete rabbit hutch or whatever it is. But that's the side of our bread oven, for anyone that didn't know, that just saw it. So I want to be able to clear all of this. As you can see, there's the chateau down there, and I want to be able to incorporate this into the land again, shall I say. Anyone that's ever dealt with a large amount of land, there's always one that eludes you, that nature always claims back, and this is it for us. So we're going to finally claim it back properly, but this time organise it in a good way. So that's what we're going to ask for help for. So this is the first section. You come up the stairs and there's this section here. Imagine all of this will be cleared back and this hutch gone, this should be open. I don't know what to do in this little section because it's quite cute and it's shaded and it's a little bit magical when these are with leaves. And I don't know, maybe a little reading area. You know, you've got a great view through these lime trees which make little entrance. Down there, the sun's coming up from up there, and if we clear it, we've got a view of the back garden. So I'd love a couple of suggestions on what to do in here. Maybe do I make a feature of this, or do we try to hide it, clear it back? And of course that's over the top of my garage, so I'll just be putting a little fence where the wall ends there, and as long as it's disappeared. Answers for that will be fantastic, but certainly there'll be, I don't know, should we have a path coming here? A gravel path maybe? Because we want to be able to access this without getting covered in mud, etc., even if the weather's bad. Made a big composter for up here before, and obviously we need to clear back the ivy and all the rest of it. And we need to deal with this tree which overhangs it and is a little bit too big and dangerous. Many branches are falling. We can deal with that now because I'm not worried about it falling on the dead polytunnel. But this is what's going to need replacing, and I need to ask you keen gardeners out there a little bit of help. So there's the old gardener's cottage, and we're going to have to get rid of the last couple of stumps and rotate this area. There's just too many stinging nettles and all the rest of it that are into the ground. Just rotate it and spread grass seed. What we want to do is build a beautiful wooden Victorian style greenhouse, but the question is where, because it's about light, it's about all sorts of things, growing things in a greenhouse, and I'm just not a gardener. What I'm thinking is we have a water butt there, and then we have the one that we put in on the other side from the cottage gutters. I'm trying to think how big and how close to the wall and how long a greenhouse could go here, because this seems like a perfect spot. I'm thinking not against the wall, because I need to be able to get to that wall to repair it and stop ivy, etc. But if we have it a metre away from the wall and then going all the way along as its own structure in that place, but also incorporating this, then we'll have a lovely big greenhouse. We've got power, we can have lights, and a nice path. This is what the light is at 5 o'clock on a end of February evening. So keen gardeners out there, what am I missing? I don't want to be spending quite a lot of money and time and energy building a beautiful greenhouse and then find that I've done something wrong because I don't know some basics. So what else is there? Do I need to make it smaller and just put it up against this wall, similar size to this? Should we make it all the way along, much bigger, or should it just be over here? Or am I completely wrong? Now, the reason I'm asking is up here. So we'll come up a little bit further and then show you, that's the back garden. It's a lovely view, and we do want to be able to use this. All of this is going to come out, and then something pretty to stop you falling off the wall. And now I'm going to show you a couple of things that we came up against last year. Our 2 raised beds. We grew some really good stuff in this one. This one not so much. And that's a light issue, I guess. And is that a mistake that we could have foreseen? Yeah, probably. Which is, again, why we're asking you. Hopefully you can tell me whether there's different things we could grow in that bed, second bed, that gets less light. I don't know. Or shall we move that to, say, here and have everything further against the wall? I'm really, really asking for your guys' opinions and help, because it's, well, my grandparents taught me lots of things when I was younger. One taught me all sorts of things, nothing about gardening. The other taught me about gardening, but I was too young to listen. Or I just didn't care, I don't know. Sad to say. We've got this patch we rotivated, which is fruit bushes. I can't know what they are. And I'm going to have to put a border around this so it's a little bit clearer. And then we've got this sort of brambled area over here at the edge of the wall. And then this beautiful, beautiful view right up to the fields and of the top lake. And then there's our little ramp at the very back so we can get bigger things up. That's at the very back of the garden. It really gets some beautiful sunshine in the evening. It's a nice place to sit. And we often thought about putting a greenhouse here, but mainly because it gets more light. But the winds are so strong when they blow up here straight off that field. It is, well, it's managed to destroy everything that was ever put here. Gardeners, please help. They say your work is never done. This is the wood pile I still have to chop back. And there's, sadly, there's the peacock pen, which is now no longer in use for a sad reason, so we'll be removing that. But it's a beautiful little view from up here, and I'd like to make more of this. So let's discuss some ideas so you guys can either shoot me down or agree with me. I'm thinking we leave the berry bushes there. They'll be quite nice. Although, does anyone recommend or have experiences of having to put bird nets over the berry bushes? I think you can probably hear we have lots of birds around here, which is beautiful, but I prefer I got to eat the berries rather than the birds. I want to move this one, give me more space, and then potentially put that here, and then put some smaller ones over here, and then I can be able to have a path into the cottage, which of course is going to have our gardening gear and all the rest of it. And then this year I think we get to paint the windows, etc., and then tidy this right up. I'm going to have to lift this up slightly onto a stand and ignore, what's that? Will this work for a greenhouse? What are we put it in a greenhouse. What do we grow in it? This is, I've never been stumped for words, anyone who knows me knows that, but what do we do? Obviously, I've got some ideas in my mind about the greenhouse and something that's pretty that I can also build, and maybe a little path that we can walk on, again, so we can always come out to the greenhouse and look after things. It's what we grow, the position of the greenhouse, and what am I missing before I make a big greenhouse? What do I need to think about in advance, guys? Now, some of you lovely people have obviously done a lot of gardening. Some of you have probably built greenhouses or put them up at your places. And this is something we just know nothing about. So I'd love to know what I'm going to do wrong, because I'm going to do something wrong. This is Chateau life. I'm definitely going to do something wrong. I'm back at the bottom of the steps. This is obviously really shady. What plants could grow on the side here to make this pretty? But we really like some big cover, some ground cover, which will stop weeds growing back quite as easily. I don't know, again, answers on a postcard or in comments would be lovely. This set of gates are going to go where those two trailers are, but we're going to take out this top panel, paint them white. You'll still be able to see through it, but it'll just separate the garden. Hope that'll really help the area, just for anyone that likes a bit of exploring. Look at that. Yeah, an old cave, an old wine cave, and also another project coming up. All the shutters that are missing, that have been saved, they're all going to get repaired, saved, and put back on the building. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Gates first. With everything going on in the world, a little bit of sunshine, nice day, some blue skies and some great views, you really remember just how lucky you are and how lucky I am to get to share this all with you. It's up there, that's where the greenhouse has got to go. Just as an aside, here's just how much work in the grounds we have to get through. After storms and all the rest of it, here's another tree that came down with the storms. And it's just extra work. Not making excuses for our work schedule, but just as an idea of just how much we have to get done out here sometimes, which is why the inside projects slow down. But it's this is just the wood pile I've got to finish logging up. That won't take long, will it? And those ones will go through the shredder. And then let's get to some sunshine. Now look at that. Sun's a bit bright, but all the way you can just see the spire of our town church up there. It's technically we are Herce, which is just on the edge of Garonne, and we're the chateau for Herce and Garonne. And then glimmering in the sunlight, you can just see the top lake. Not a bad place to be on a day like today, is it? Now, I feel like I'm exploring badly. So hopefully that just gives you a better idea of where this all is. So look, you guys are a wealth of knowledge that I just don't have. So Dan, gardener down at the land, maybe you've got some suggestions for us, because you'll know a lot better than we do about what to do here. And you guys out there, of course, what should we grow? That's quite important. We need simple. We don't have huge amounts of time. It's why I've just shown you like the wood pile and fallen trees, because we need it to be as simple as it possibly can be. And our main thing is, this is the last time we do anything up here. We don't want to be changing it all around again. So if I can have some suggestions, guys, I'm just really asking for your help, because this is one of the few times we are definitely 100% lost, and our research up to this point hasn't really been huge amounts of help. Probably us, obviously, but if we can have a little bit of help from you guys as some suggestions, maybe styles of, I've got some ideas and I put those up, the styles of greenhouse, but also about, as I said, where to put it and the rest of it. I don't want to be doing this twice, and I want to make this area look wonderful. Of course, some guys that maybe aren't gardeners are going to have a slightly better idea of some other little suggestions, which would be nice, maybe just to how we can use it. Pathways, I've got an idea for maybe a little concrete made path that looks like little stones, using one of those little plastic things which shapes, can't find the words, the plastic things which shape moulds, there we go, moulds, yeah. But maybe little gravel paths would be better and easier to manage. Again, some suggestions. This is one we're really lost with, but it's an area that we really want to make the most of this year. So every little bit of help will be wonderful, guys. So please do leave a comment and let us know anything that we don't know, or any mistakes that we might be about to make. Thank you so much.